I love weekend flea markets. You can find many old things there. I always look for hidden treasures. It is a peaceful way to spend my Saturday. I feel calm and happy when I walk around. Then I saw it. An old camera sat on a dusty table. It looked like a camera from the 1950s. It had a black body and silver parts. I picked it up carefully. I saw a small scratch on its top right corner. It felt good in my hands. I knew I wanted that camera. I asked the seller for the price. It was a good price. I paid the seller and smiled. I felt very happy about my new find. I put the camera safely into my bag. I could not wait to use it. Back in my apartment, I cleaned the camera. My apartment is small and cozy. I used a soft cloth to wipe it gently. I wanted to remove all the dust. I was careful with every part. The camera looked almost new again. I felt content working on it. Next, I loaded a new roll of film. It was exciting to prepare the camera. My cat Mittens was sleeping on an armchair. She looked very cute. I decided to take her picture first. I aimed the camera and pressed the button. The shutter made a satisfying click. Days passed while I waited. Finally, my developed photos were ready. I picked them up and went home. I sat at my kitchen table. I felt a mix of excitement and anticipation. I wanted to see how my new camera worked. I started looking through the pictures. I found the picture of Mittens. My smile faded. Behind the armchair, there was a shape. It was tall and very dark. It looked like a thin shadow. Its edges were blurred. I felt a strange confusion. I looked up from the photo. I looked at the real armchair in my living room. There was nothing there, only the empty space behind the chair. I thought it must be a mistake. Maybe the camera was old. Perhaps the film was bad. I decided to test the camera again. I wanted to be sure. I put in another roll of film. I walked around my apartment. I took pictures of my bookshelf. Then I took one of my kitchen. I hoped to find nothing strange. A few days later, I got the new photos. I looked at the bookshelf picture first. My heart started to beat faster. The dark shape was there again. It was standing next to the bookshelf, and it was closer this time. I felt a growing worry. Nancy quickly found the kitchen photo. She held it up. The dark shape was now standing by the counter. It looked like a tall person. Its form was clearer. Nancy felt a cold fear spread through her. Nancy was very scared. Her heart beat fast in her chest. She quickly put the vintage camera down. Then she gathered all the strange photographs. She pushed them into a dark drawer. She closed the drawer quickly and firmly. A few days passed slowly. Nancy stayed in her apartment. She felt jumpy and nervous all the time. She often looked over her shoulder. She felt a strange presence. Her cozy apartment now felt unsettling. Nancy could not resist the mystery. She needed to know more about the figure. She walked to the drawer where she hid the camera. Her hands were shaking slightly. She slowly opened the drawer. She took out the vintage camera. Nancy went to her bathroom. She stood in front of the mirror. She held the camera up to her eye. She took a deep breath to calm herself. Then she took a picture of her own reflection. The camera made a distinct click sound. Nancy rushed out of her apartment. She went to a 1-hour photo lab. She gave them the film from the camera. She waited for the single picture to be developed. She felt extremely nervous. Every minute felt like an hour. Finally, Nancy got the photo. She looked at it quickly. It showed her reflection in the bathroom mirror. But then she saw it. The tall, thin figure was standing directly behind her shoulder. Nancy felt pure, cold terror. Nancy dropped the photo in shock. It fell to the floor. She looked up quickly. She saw her reflection in a shop window. She looked behind her in the reflection. There was nothing there. Nancy hurried back to her apartment. She closed the door behind her. The apartment felt quiet. Then she heard a sound. A floorboard creaked in the hallway. She froze and listened carefully. Nancy slowly turned her head. She looked into the hallway. It was empty, but a long, distorted shadow stretched along the floor. It came from a doorway at the end of the hall. Nancy felt pure terror.
Si te gustó el video, suscríbete y activa la campanita para no perderte la próxima parte.